same thing at first base. If we teach not squaring up, I'm not very far away from first base. That's an easy pick for the catcher. Or on a line drive, I'm gonna get picked off here. All right, so we teach squaring up at first base so that we can react one way or the next. All right, once we get to second base, we teach keeping our hips square. All right, and this is so if the ball's hit at us or behind us, we can score from second base without having to square up. Why do we think we're comfortable? I'm going to ask you guys this question. Why do you think we're more comfortable with our hips not being, being square to third at second base? Sorry?
Farther throw back to second.
Farther throw back to second. So what's a good catcher pop time? Yeah, under 2. So our girls, we say 1/8 the gold standard. If you can be 1/8 on target, you're going to throw out 90% of base runners. All right, that's a long time. So if we can't get back in 1.8 seconds, we weren't paying attention. So on that one, we want to make sure that our hips are staying square to third base so that we don't have to take the extra step to go to be able to score. But if they get back, we still think we have time. At first base, we don't have time, so we're going to be athletic so we can cross over and go. So those are going to be our 2 different leads. All right, our other differences between first base and second base. At first base, we're going to go straight towards second because we're going to try to beat the throw on a ground ball or we're trying to steal. At second base, we're going to angle back to initially set our angle to score from third. So instead of squaring up and going straight to third base, we're going to set that angle right away to start to score to third. Any questions on those 2 different leads? All right, I'm going to give you another tidbit at first base, which is going to make you great base runners. We teach ball and dirt. So when we're at first base and our base runners, and we practice this in practice, if the ball hits the dirt, we're gone. So we're going to steal. And they're going to make that read as that happens. So our players that are really, really good at it won't even end up squaring up because they can see that it's going to bounce and they're just going to keep going. Because what are most catchers taught to do? Block. So the second catcher's block, that is a hard play to block, get up, and make a throw. Hard, hard, hard. And if you get great jumps on it, it's nearly impossible. All right, so we practice that all the time. We practice it all the time. And at younger ages, you can absolutely do this. Because not only, even if they pick it, all right, now they've picked it, where's their weight? Forward. Where's the ball going? It's going to be a short hop. We got to pick it. We're sliding to the back of the bag. That's a hard tag. All right, so this is and it's funny. So when we first started doing this, our players were like, Coach, what about me? I'm like, you're going too. And they're like, I'm not fast. I'm like, you're going too. Safe almost every time. But it's a hard play. Put yourself in catcher's shoes. That's a hard play. So we work on it all the time at second base. Every single one of our players, ball and dirt, go. We practice it all the time. We put our pitcher out on the mound. It's blocking practice for the catchers. They're working on blocking. She's throwing change-ups, so some are in the dirt, some aren't in the dirt. And our base runners are reading. As soon as we see the ball is going to hit the dirt, we're gone. And it gets us into scoring position without having to bunt, because bunting is just giving away outs. And without having to do a straight steal, where maybe we can't get there. All right? We do it at second base, too. So now at second base, you got to be a little bit faster. It's not everybody needs to go. But we're further away at second base, right? So we can go, and we can see the ball's going to hit the ground, so we can take 2 steps. Now, if the catcher controlled it and we're dead at third, what can we do? Just go back. But if the ball kicks away from her at all, we're to third base. All right, so teach your kids how to read ball and dirt. It's awesome. You're going to get a million bases. It's going to get you in the scoring position. We work on that stuff every single day. All right, other things. As I'm going into, there's just so much with base running. But the biggest thing that I think is really, really important here is that the first priority is to score. So when I go and I watch high school ball, when I go and I watch summer ball, I see us trying to advance base to base instead of trying to score. So your first priority always has to be, I'm trying to score. So we're going to talk through a little bit of the situations so we can understand what we can do in those situations. All right, so let's say you're a runner at first base. All right, fly ball deep to the outfield. What should we do?
No.
I'll take the first couple steps.
So if we tag up, we can only advance how many bases?
One.
One. So I saw this at state high school tournament. Tag up. Right fielder gets turned around. Ball falls in. Where does this runner end up? Second base. If we had stayed off as far as we could be, where's that runner gonna end up?
Third.
She got to score.
Or, every score.
So the first priority always has to be to score. So the only time we tag at first base, there's 2 times. The first one is foul. We're gonna always tag foul. Less than 2 outs, tag foul no matter what, because you can't advance if they don't catch it. Tag, 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 tag. Or if it's you're fast and it's deep to left or deep to right and we are certain they are going to make the catch. Certain they are going to make the catch. Because the payoff's not worth it. So if they catch it, you just end up at second. If they drop it, you're gonna score. And then we have to get off as far as we possibly can so that we can get back and be safe. So that means if the ball is to shallow center, how far off can we be? Not that far. If the ball is to deep left field, deepest corner of left field, how far off can we be? We might be around second. Because then we can go back and get all the way back to first base, but we want to make sure that we can score. So at first base, almost always, and this is the one that I see all the time when I go out and watch, I see the outfielders drop the balls, and we only got to second base. We're going to be off as far as we possibly can, so we can advance as far as we possibly
So
can.
you're basically setting yourself up for the slim chance that they catch it, that you get back to first before they throw you out.
Well, that's the goal. So you want to be as far off as you can be,
Yeah.
that you can get back safely. And so we tell our girls, if you had time to jog back, you weren't off far enough. Get off further. So right field, you're going to be off less. Left field, you're going to be off more. But we are going to take the chances that we can score over simply advancing one more back. Any questions on that? This is a big one. This is a big one. All right. So let's now go through, okay, still at first base. Ball to right field. Ground ball to right field. You've got any speed whatsoever. Where should you end up? Third. Where's the throw coming from? Behind you.
Slide in the middle.
You slide right at the third baseman, you're safe. All right, we see people stop. We should be thinking right away get to third. All of our girls are coming to third unless I stop them. All right, that should be an easy first to third. If it gets to center field on the right-hand side, it's going to depend on your speed a little bit. Left field, it's going to be hard. But we should get first to third on a ball in right field. Also, we talked to all of our girls about we're going to round the bags as hard as we possibly can for 2 reasons. One, if you're an outfielder and the base runner's rounding the bag as hard as she can, what's it do to you?
Rush.
You panic. It puts a little bit of pressure on you, okay? And as a base runner, what does it do? What does it allow you to do? If she bobbles it, what can we do?
Keep going.
We can go. So we're going to round as hard as we can. If we see a small bobble, we're gone. We're going to put pressure on the defense. We're going to take extra bags. So we're going to round hard. And the distance that we can round is going to be dependent on what? How far the ball is away from you. So if we hit a ball to left field, a single to left field, we're going to round pretty far because that's a long throw for her to get back to us. Right field is closer, we can't round as far. But you'll see our runners, they'll round almost all the way, they'll round about halfway to second base on a ball to the left to try to put pressure on them. If they make one bobble, we're going to be standing on second base. If not, we got to get back. But we're going to round those bases hard and put pressure on the defense. So that's runners at first base. Any question with runners at first base? All right, runners at second base. It's going to be similar. My second biggest pet peeve is when the runner's at second base, a ball gets hit to the outfield, we go and we stand at second, and they don't catch it, and we just get to third. Where should we be? Home. So we only tag at second for 2 reasons. 1, if we're certain we can advance, and 2, if we think she's going to catch it. So let's start with the first one, certain we can advance. So how many times you're at second base, you take your lead, the ball is a shallow ball that we can't advance on, that if she catches it, she's going to throw us out. What good does tagging do? Somebody tell me, because I see it all the time. My players still do it. What good does it do? Nothing, you can't advance. So what should we do on that ball?
Stay off the bag.
Stay off the back. So we're gonna stay off the bag again, depending on how far away it is from us, as far as we can be, and we're going to stay athletic. Because raise your hand if you have seen outfielders drop the ball. They drop it at our level still, right? So if we're still tagging, we only advance what? One bag, maybe. If we're off and athletic and they drop it, we score. So we're staying off unless we can advance. There's no point in tagging if you can't advance on the throw. Stay off unless you can advance, all right? Deep balls, it's gonna be dependent on your speed. So, and dependent on the size of the field, because sometimes you guys play on small fields, right? So if it's a really shallow field, you gotta make sure you can score. If it's deeper, it's gonna be a little bit different. But on deep balls, we're only gonna tag if we're certain she's gonna catch it, or if we're really fast. So if I'm really fast, and the ball's at the wall, and they're going back, and I'm 50-50 on whether or not she's gonna catch it, if I'm close to the bag, let's say that's second base, and I'm here, and the ball's to right field, if she catches it, I have time to tag and advance. If she drops it, I'm 8 feet closer to home, and I'm gonna go. Does that make sense to everybody? That's gonna be with your speedy base runners. With your others, if there's any doubt whether she's gonna catch it or not, first priority is always what?
Score.
Score. So we're gonna stay off. If she drops it, we score. Worst case scenario is we tag, she drops it, we only get to third base. Because it's third base that much better than second base? It's a little bit better, we'll take it, but it's not game changer. We want to score. Any questions on second base? And again, we'll always tag foul. Third base is where it changes a little bit. So third base, we're almost always going to tag. Almost always going to tag. The only time we won't tag at third base is if we can't advance. So it's the same thing. So we're not going to go back and tag on a ball that they're going to throw us out easily at home. So if we're at third base and there's a fly ball to the infield, you're going to see our girls are a little bit off. All right, because it's going to get us 2 feet closer to home if she drops it to be able to score. And if not, she catches it, we just get back. But we're going to take a little bit of advantage of that because we couldn't tag on that ball anyway. On anything that's deep, we have to tag. And this is the rule, my rule to the girls. You have to see them catch the ball and then understand their depth, right? So the closer they are to you, the better jump we have to have off the bat. If they catch it with their back against the wall, don't be early. Does that make sense? Don't give the umpire a reason to call you out for leaving early. So make sure she catches it and then go. The other rule is even if you are certain it's going to hit the ground in the gap, you don't leave until it hits the ground anyway. Best softball player I've ever seen in my life. It was when I was coaching in Georgia. We had Kelsey Todd playing center field. I'll never forget it. There's still a picture of it. Bases loaded, no outs. Bases loaded, no outs. We're playing Georgia Tech. Huge rivalry game. Ball in the gap, just scorched. She made the best catch I've ever seen in my life. She went vertical. I mean, the picture is unbelievable. Catches it. None of the base runners thought she had a chance. So she gets up, triple play, out of the inning. If the runner at third had been paying any attention, if she makes the best catch of her life, I can do somersaults home. But instead, we think it's on the ground, so we just start going. So our rule is it has to hit the ground, and then we go. If it's a home run, it has to clear the fence. I don't care if you hit it. We've got a freshman this year, Kendall Lindemann. Wait until you guys see this girl hit the ball. Holy smokes, it's unbelievable. She'll hit it over the track building. Do not leave until it hits the building. Because sometimes you're playing somewhere and there's a gust of wind and you're wrong and it falls down. So we make sure that that goes. The only time this is going to be different at third base, the low line drive believers, right? So on those, we need to go as soon as we know it's going to hit the ground, because if we wait too long, they're going to play the one hop and they're going to what? We're going to throw. They're going to throw us out. You guys understand the difference between the balls in the gap and those. So those are our tag up rules. Any questions on our tag up rules?
So is this at, let's say 16?
Yep.
Or 17, is this good chalk talk? Or, I mean, how do you, so everything you just described,
Yeah.
I get, it's
Yep.
like you can have this talk.
Yep.
How do you practice this?
We have the best drill in the world. It's called independent. Again, I got this from Lou Harris in Georgia. You put outfielders out there. They can be anybody. All right? One in left, center, and right. You load the bases. You're hitting fungos, and you have someone coaching the bases, coaching third base. You're working on fly balls, and each runner is going to be independent of the runners around him. So the bases aren't loaded. they're running the bases by themselves. Does that make sense to everybody? So now you hit a ball, you got bases loaded, you hit a ball to deep right field. Deep right field. What is the runner at first doing? Stay